Hi everyone, it's me Natalie, and today I'm going to be continue stitching my floral hearts, and this is the finished floral hearts from the previous live stream. I finished stitching and I removed all the lines for the flowers. As you can see, there is no marks visible, and those are heating erasable, and I removed it with my little mini iron carefully, so I left this heart shape visible. I'm going to be cutting out this piece, but if you want, you can use this pattern and you can leave it in the hoop like this. You can stitch using like chain stitch or some other decorative stitch the shape of the flower, and you can leave it in the hoop if you want. You can frame it as I usually frame it. You can watch my video tutorial on YouTube how I frame my embroidery projects in the hoop. And yeah, but I'm going to be cutting this out and I'm going to be stitching it, backing it with the felt, and it's going to be like a little ornaments that I will be hanging on my cherry blossom tree. I will share it on my Instagram how it is gonna look like when it's finished. But today I just wanted to show you the finished piece, and I'm making the illustration with the stitching instructions for my stitching club. And you can join my stitching club if you want, and you will receive all the stitching instructions for the projects that I make. And every month I make some new embroidery project, and this month is all about the floral hearts. If you join this month, you will get 3 different embroidery designs for the floral heart ornaments. So you can make like beautiful gifts for your loved ones. And yeah, stitch with me. We have a lot of embroidery patterns on my stitching club on Patreon, so follow the link in the video description and join all the fun. And today we are going to be stitching the next design that we have here in my pattern, and this is how it looks like. I'm going to be framing it in the, I will put it in my hoop and we will start stitching. Hi Vicky! As you can see, I binded the inner part of my hoop, so it will help to keep my fabric tight in the when I'm working. So I really like this method. I do it with all my working hoops. This is the hoop I'm stitching with, and if I would frame it in some another hoop, I will just use some standard hoop, and yeah, this is what I do when I'm only with the hoops that I'm working with. The Valentine's Day is pretty close. Let me know, guys, if you are preparing some gifts already. What is this? Is this some embroidery, or maybe it's something, some greeting cards that you make by hand, or maybe some other kind of crafts? So let me know in the chat what you are going to make for the Valentine gifts. I'm trying to use the color palette from my previous floral heart, so you will not need to buy a lot of embroidery threads, but sometimes, yeah, I will need to add some more colors. So I'm going to be stitching the this little sunflower, and I will be using those colors that I already used in the previous floral heart, and I will add 2 more colors for the center, as we know that the center of the flower should be brown color, and I will use those 2 shades, and yeah, it should be cute. I will start with this bright color, and my plan is to add those wings with the orange color probably in the center, and then probably here I will use the mix of those two colors. I will see. I will try and see, maybe it will look cute or not. If not, I will just use the same color here, or I will choose something in the middle. I will probably look for some color in the middle. So I will be trying those, and if it's not working, I will just add one more color and that's it. And I'm going to use 3 strands, and it's going to be just simple satin stitch, and I'm going to use the medium size of the needle. This is the number 726. Okay, I will probably stitch those 2 petals and the petal in the middle. As usually, I like to start on the top of the petal. And if you need, you can draw the stitch directions. You can look at my stitch instructions document with stitch directions already there. So this is how like your stitches should go. This is where it should go. Those 3 lines there will disappear under your stitches, so it's normal. You will just you can add it after, so no worries. And I make one long stitch in the center, and then to make this shape, like a rounded shape, this part is smaller and this part is wider, so I will alternate long and short stitches, and this method calls like tucked satin stitch. You can make an outline like for the satin, so the satin stitch will look like will have like sharper lines. But I usually do it for the bigger shapes, like when I'm stitching like bigger flowers and so on. Sometimes I do outline after I finish stitching like the petals, so it depends. It depends on which kind of effect I want to give to this flower. Um, Maybe when I will finish stitching the petals, I can decide to outline it. I will see how it will look like. I often see this flower in the nature here in Canada, so I decided to stitch it in my floral heart. They're small and they're like a little version of the bigger like sunflower with a lot of seeds. So it's like a relative to the bigger sunflower we all know that are growing in the farms. It smells exactly the same way. And one time I remember I brought those flowers from my walking, and I wasn't happy about it because the smell is really strong, and when you like outside you don't feel it, but when you put when you bring those flowers inside, they smell very strong, and I it's like irritating my my throat, and I started coughing or something, like, yeah, my throat, it started to hurt, so I will never do it again. So, but they are pretty flowers. If you're afraid that you will forget where you will need to stitch those lines, those ones, you can stitch them first and try to feel the area outside around those stitches with satin stitch, but I have to say that it's going to be, it's not gonna be easy. So it's just easier to stitch with the satin stitch and then to feel the, to make those lines, those petal veins or something. So yeah, I make the central leaf, central stitch, and then you can feel each side separately, or you can start feeling both sides at the same time. I wanted to go live later, like at 6 p.m., like mountain time, but decided that I forgot that in Europe it's going to be like too late and maybe. So should I should probably, I thought that I should probably go live earlier. I never thought that I'm allergic to something, but it looks like I actually probably have some allergies. I just didn't know about them. I should probably do some tests to know like what I'm allergic to. Is it like happening with time, like you living your entire life thinking that you don't have any allergies and then suddenly you start having the allergy, or how does it works? I just don't know. This is a pretty light and bright yellow color. Lena says, very pretty, thank you so much. I'm just starting stitching it, so it will become very, very, even more pretty when I will finish. Christina says, I never had allergy in Portugal. My seasonal allergy started here in Canada. It's interesting. Is it somehow related to the climate in Canada, or what can it be related to? That's interesting because I never had allergies before. I will park this thread for later because it's getting too short, and I'm gonna switch to this color and I will see how it's gonna look like with the veins with this color. I'm gonna use only 2 strands of floss probably, because 3 strand is going to be too thick. Let's try 2 strands and see how it's gonna look like. Yeah, 2 strands is much better. Oh, Костя, привіт. I know that you're from Ukraine. Okay, so we need to make one the wing in the center like this, and we make 2 more, but smaller, one on the right side and one on the left side. So each petal will have 3 veins. It's not really realistic. I'm not trying to make it realistic. It's gonna be like it's gonna look like a little bit cartoonish, but it's fine. We are not trying to make a masterpiece here. It's just a simple flower, and it should look just nice. Okay, I pretty like how it turned out. And I think that this color, by the way, this is 742. This is 742 DMC, and I think it's gonna be too dark for the second layer um, on this side, on behind those front petals. So let's find something that it's a little bit darker than we use right now, but that it's not too. This one is pretty similar. This one is actually looks like it's something like can have a little shadow, right? And this one is pretty, but it's like merging together with the previous one, so it's too light. So let's probably use this one. It's gonna look nice because it's lighter than the orange and it's muted color, and it will give us like an effect of there is this shadow on the petals behind. This is number 3821. I'm running out of this color, but I hope it will be enough for this flower. I will probably buy some more later. And I'm using also 3 strands. Okay, let's fill this leaf. So we have a little gap here, but I will probably stitch it with the central vein from the back side. I think it's going to be like orange in the middle. I don't know, maybe let's stitch it with this color and see how it's gonna look like. Looks nice. And now I feel on the left side. For those petals, you need to also follow the shape of the petal and trying to to make all the stitches like should go into the center, like the direction of your stitches, they should go like from the tip of the petal to the center, like from here it should go here. If I'm filling this area, all my stitches should go like into the direction towards the center of the flower, and this is how you can make it look much better if you would like compare it, if you would just making a parallel stitches. So keep in mind all the time this too. That central stitch was pretty long, so I'm not sure that I'm going to be doing it for the each petal. I'm not sure because I'm planning to add the central vein using orange color. So let's see how it's gonna look like. I think it's gonna look much better if we will outline this entire flower later. Yeah. The colors of the petals are pretty close to each other, and maybe we will use some color to outline at least between those petals, so to make them look like they're separate petals or something like that. Let me see how it's gonna look like now, and I don't know. Let's make the central vein with orange color. I'll go back to orange. And I will make the central vein here. See if I will make it here. Let's make it this way and see if we can avoid outlining. Not sure. I will see it later. Okay, let's fill some more, let's make some more petals, and then I will switch to the central part, and it's gonna look better when we'll stitch like more petals, and from there I will think if you need outline or not. So first let's stitch all more petals. Sometimes you are not like really 100% sure if you want to do it with outline or without. You need to stitch something, and then from that you will see and decide what to do next. And this is what I like in hand embroidery, that you have freedom to choose. Like it's not like cross stitch when you're stitching everything and it should look exactly is in the color scheme, you know. Okay, I have a thread on the back side that I need to hide. I will work it somewhere here. Okay, you will be here. I will even do it like this so it doesn't interfere with my stitches, so it will stay here. Because it's too short. Usually I finish my threads right away, but for the live stream I just don't want to interrupt myself for this. I want just to continue stitching. Some ears first. For the sunflower, I also like to mix the colors. Like for example, I would mix this color and this color that I was using for the back side. I would mix those two colors, like I would use one strand of this one and two strands of this one, and it would look really, really pretty. So if you want, you can try it and you'll see how beautiful it looks like. Like usually we have a texture of the sunflower petals, which looks similar to the effect that you will get if you will mix those two colors. So if you want, you can try it and you will see. Somehow the thread appeared. If you want to watch the replay of this video, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. I will save this video and it's going to be available for everyone on my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube as Embroidery Art by Nat. And I will be excited to see your comments and likes on my YouTube videos. Okay, let's jump to this petal. I will make one more and we will see, do we need outline or not? Here's one more trick for the satin stitch. You can mark stitches direction like this. You can do three strands, 3 stitches this way, and then you can feel all the rest that is between. And it's also helpful to follow the right stitch direction for the petals like this. If you're experienced teacher, you already know it, so I'm sorry if I repeat myself many times, but I'm trying to make it as simple and understandable for the beginners that are probably also watching this video. If you know some other tips and tricks for a satin stitch that I didn't mention yet, let me know. You can lay your thread this way each time you make a stitch and make sure that it's following the right stitch direction, that it's direct, like the direction of the stitch should be right into the center of the flower. And you can also do it all the time. And it's also a nice way to follow the right stitch direction. So different ways you can do it. In this case, with those petals, we don't need actually like sharp edges for the petals, because in the nature they are not really sharp, right? But if you are unhappy about the outline, like how they look like, you can outline it additionally. From here I can see that I will probably use some outline. I will try some color and I will see how it looks like. If it looks bad, I will just remove it. It's easy. Okay, I will take some orange. I will probably finish some threads because it looks like a mess already on the back side. So what's going on? So I will finish a few threads so it doesn't mess up my backside. Some people, they are like very worried about the backside and they don't even use knots. I use knots sometimes, sometimes I don't. It depends on my mood, probably. And it also depends on where I'm stitching my embroideries. If it's on some clothing, so of course I will try to avoid using the knots and keep my backside neat. But if it's something like this that is going to be covered, it's the backside, nobody will see the backside, I will just use knots wherever I like and wherever I feel comfortable. Cut it. Okay, so I will stitch some more petals for the back side, like this one and this one, and then we will see if we need some outline. I'll cut my thread. I'll take 3 strands. As you notice, I like to stitch with 3 strands. It's better than 2 strands for a satin stitch if this area is not too big or too small. So I usually use 3 strands of floss. And only when I need like do some long and short shading, like do some gradients or stuff like that, I will switch to 2 or 1 strand of floss, so it's gonna be like smoother. It will create smooth transitions. But for those projects, for those first 2 projects, I try to not use long and short shading too much. Um, those 2 first projects are simple and actually it's like beginner friendly. You'll just need to have some practice before trying the bigger project. You can outline, you can transfer some small part of this design, like for example only this sunflower, and it can be it can actually make some nice brush, this sunflower only. And you can practice and then you can switch to the bigger projects. So there is nothing too complicated, just try it. I hope that my videos make it look simple for you, and maybe it will inspire you to try hand embroidery even if you never tried before. I write my patterns the way that even if you are a beginner, you can learn um, a lot of basic techniques. So you don't actually need to know how to do hand embroidery before trying my patterns, especially if it's beginner patterns like this one. But we will practice some long and short shading for the next project when we will going to be stitching the pansy flowers. So if you feel that you are ready for this, you can try it too. And it's a pretty small size of the project, so it's not gonna take you too long to finish. Um, like my other projects with Pansy Wreath and Pansy Bouquet. It's pretty big project and can look um, little intimidating to start. So I think that this small floral heart is perfect. But I know I have patrons in my stitching club that don't afraid big projects, right, Christina? And some of them they even design their own embroidery designs, and I'm so proud of them. Okay, I will switch to this color again. I will create all the veins for the petals, and I will find some nice color to outline everything. So let's see how it's gonna look like. I will use 2 strands. What do you think? Like from what you see right now, would you outline this sunflower? Let me know in the chat. Because I think I'm gonna outline it. Okay, Vicky says that I don't think it needs an outline. It's very pretty. Okay, thank you for your opinion. Anybody else? Christina, what would you do? Okay, Leah thinks that she would do an outline. Yeah, it would give it more depth. I agree. So let's try the outline and we will see how it looks like. I will try to. Okay, Rhea, she said I would outline the center circle only. The center circle is going to be dark, so it's gonna look like it will create a lot of contrast, and I think something is needed for the petals, especially between the petals right here, maybe not until the very point of the petal, maybe just between the petals. And oh, let's see what I did for the sunflowers from the previous project, and maybe it will give me some idea because I already forgot. Okay, let's see. Here is the project from autumn, like probably October project, and this here we have more colors. So for the petals I used a mixed color, a mix of the colors of those two colors that I mentioned previously, and this is how it looks like. It looks pretty nice. And between the petals here I use some burgundy color, see, and it looks really nice. So I will probably go and add this color between the petals. And here we have some orange in the center of the petals. So yeah, I will need some burgundy color. Let's find it. It can be this one or this one. This one or this one. Both are great actually. Let's try it on. Like, we can take only one strand and see how it's gonna look like. This one, it doesn't give like too much contrast. It's nice. It will give like a little shadow between the petals, and this one is pretty bright version of this color. And yeah, it will look much brighter. I used this one for those sunflowers that from the previous project. So let's use this one too for this. I'm sure that in the combination of the center of the sunflower, it will look really great. So I need only one strand of floss. If you will use two strands, it's going to be like too heavy, like the shadow is going to be too heavy, it's too much. I like the partial outline. That does look good. Yeah, it's actually gonna look good. So we will not going to outline the entire petals. I will outline only the between the petals. Somewhere from here, I know. Let's make the stitch between them and see. And I will probably make one stitch this way, and I will split this one. I go almost until the edge. So how does it look? I think it already looks much more realistic, and this is what we did. We just added a little shadow between the petals, and that's it. And this is how huge the difference is. The difference is really huge comparing to what we had. So it's just a split stitch, and sometimes when the petal is curved I make shorter stitches, and when I need to do the straight stitch I can make a longer one like this. Yeah, it's a little detail that was missing here, and it made so much difference. Okay, so now we know how, like, what the strategy is going to be for the rest of the petals. You can go ahead and fill all the rest petals here, and I will not I don't want to keep you for so long, so I will switch to the central part, and I will be stitching the center using 2 shades of brown, and I will start in the center with darker color, this one, and I'm gonna use 3 strands of floss. I see everyone likes the results that we got. Okay, so I mark at the center of the flower. As you can see, I have it here, and I was using it for the petals when I was stitching the petals, and I will need it when I will be filling the central part of the sunflower. So I make the central one, and I will make French knots around it. I'm wrapping 2 times. And I make my French knots really, really close to each other. And we have a question. It does look better, but why don't you follow it all the way around the petal? I think that if I would follow like around the petal completely, it would give me like completely different look. I still want to make my petals to look that are to be light, you know. It would be like too heavy. If you like to outline like completely all the petals, please go ahead and do it. I just like it this way. It looks more natural, you know, um, and not cartoonish. Like, this is how I can explain it. Okay, 2 more French knots, and I will switch to another color. Okay, we'll park it for later. Maybe later we will need it. I'll see if you will have enough space um, to use this color again. I'm planning to use it once more and make one more circle, like the final outline for the central part. Okay, I'm switching to this color, and I'm gonna use 3 strands of floss as well. And I'm going to be building French knots around this shape. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to go through all those wraps and through the fabric. You can try, if it's too hard for you, you can try like a middle needle for the French knots. It has a small eye. It should be actually much easier to go through the wraps. Maybe I will switch to that needle. Or maybe I just tied my wraps too much, and that's why it's hard to go through. Christina says, looking gorgeous. Yeah, that looks wonderful. I'm glad you like it, guys. And I really like it too. French knots is my favorite way to fill the center of the flowers, and especially for the sunflower, it make it look really realistic, the way how it looks in the nature. This is a small one, but if you will be embroidering a bigger sunflower, I'm sure we could add even more details to make it look realistic. Okay, I will go and make one more circle with French knots, and I will try to leave some space for the darker color. So I will do like kind of outline with French knots, um, and it will have a finished look. You can make the center of the flower using beads. If you like beading, it will look sparkling and also nice. Yeah, from this side I see that it's not going to be enough space for the darker circle that I wanted to make. It's fine. It still look nice, right? I will finish this thread and I will switch to another needle and you will see the difference, how much easier it's going to be to go through all those wraps. I use a symbol to push through. Like this finger. It can hurt with time. But I don't like to use those stuff that I don't remember how that thing names. The things that you wear onto your fingers and to push through the needle. I don't usually do it, so I don't need it, but the finger can hurt. I will try those needles for the French knots, and it should be easier to go through because the eye of the needle has the same size as the needle itself, and it should be like much smoother to go through. They are slightly longer than a regular compared to the regular needles, as you can see. But embroidery needles, they have a big eye, and that's why it may be hard to go through the fabric. So let's try this needle. I will use a medium size of the needle. The smallest size is good when you use only one strand of floss or two. For 3 strands of floss is good this size. And I will start a new thread. And let's see, it should be much easier to work. Three strands. Okay. Yeah, much easier. And the needle is new, it's so smooth. So it's probably something on the back side. They leave They have leather and metal symbols, and the leather ones can hurt. Okay. I'm glad that I don't need to do it because it's not comfortable. I don't feel comfortable using those, actually. And I don't stitch, like I don't embroider so much, so I would need it. I just embroider a little bit on the live stream, and then I need to make some instructions for the stitching club, and so yeah, I don't embroider too much. Actually, I feel very happy when I finally can embroider something because it's sometimes it's too much work on the computer. Here on the edge of the central part, when the you don't have like much space for the French knots, but there is still spaces that you need to fill, you can rub only one time, and it will create an effect that in the center there are bigger French knots, and on the edge there are smaller ones, and yeah, it will also make an illusion that this sunflower is much more realistic. When I was on the markets, like I was trying, like I was selling my embroidery kits and patterns on the market on the during the Christmas time. Some people came and they were looking at my embroideries and they said, "Is it like is it painting or do you use some paint to do like color transitions like this?" I said, "No, it's just threads," and he didn't believe me. They was they was thinking that I'm using some paint, you know. But many of them they said, "Oh wow, you are so talented." I would never do that. Okay, how do you like it? I think that I would do, I don't know, maybe smaller center of the flower, of the central part, this darker one, and maybe I would do 2 rows. I would have enough time to make 2 rows of this next color, and I would still have some space around it for only one um, round of darker color around it. Like as you can see, maybe for this part I had some more practice, and um, those sunflowers, I really like how they look like. So if you want, you can watch this tutorial, and if you want them to look exactly like those ones, you can watch this tutorial and do it exactly like I did here. But the petals are much smaller because it's like a bigger sunflower that you usually grow on your backyard or where do you usually grow it. But this one is like a flower that's like wild flower that you usually find on the fields. So I was trying to make this one. But it's fine, I will leave it as it is, but just so you know, maybe make the smaller part this one a bit of this color and finish with the final circle, or you can go backwards and start from the outline with the darker color first and then move to the center. Maybe if you will go this way, it will you will probably be able to make the outline and you will have space for it because you start from it, right? So maybe do it backwards, like do the outline first and then move to the center and see how much French knots you will have in the center left. So yeah, probably that method will work better. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining and chatting with me. It was really fun with you guys, and you are amazing. If you want to stitch it with me, if you are not in my stitching club yet, follow the link in the video description below and join my stitching club, and you will get those embroidery patterns and 100 more embroidery patterns for practicing different kind of techniques. And most of my embroidery designs, they have video tutorials like this, so you will not be lost. You will be like having like directions and illustrations and everything you need to complete those projects. So welcome to my stitching club, welcome to my wonderful embroidery world, and I will see you next time. I will go live tomorrow. I will probably go live 1 hour later at 5 p.m. or something like that, or 6. I will schedule the live stream, so you will see the time for you, for your local time, like where you are located on the planet. Because I live in Canada, New Brunswick, but you can be on some different place all around the world. So yeah, and yeah, once you will see the scheduled live stream, tap on the bell and you will be notified when the live stream will start. So thank you so much and see you tomorrow. Bye guys.